What's up guys, it's BB here. Today we're doing another video of Bandicoot Month! Yay! This is creepy. Anyways, today we're doing the Bandicoot Month breakdown of the scientists. Entropy is a brilliant scientist who created a time machine, and during the events of Crash, before the events of Crash Bandicoot 3, was recruited by Uka Uka. He battled Crash only to be defeated. He was there with the rest of the Crash Bandicoot 3 villains during Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, discussing how to kill Crash. In Crash Bandicoot Twin Sanity, him alongside Embryo and Engine and decide to betray Cortex to get the treasure. Him and Embryo goes to sneak attack Crash, so Embryo gets transformed into a monster while Entropy battles Crash, but Crash eventually defeats Entropy. Embryo launches Crash into his next location. Haitian. And in the reboot of Crash Insane Trilogy, same exact scene happens, only for him to, for this time, Entropy blows up into the rift. Yeah, it's a thing. Oh, ew. Anyways, Engine was a brilliant scientist who got a rocket inside of his head. It was like inside of his head. In Crash 2, he worked with Cortex, and then he used the ginormous mech to battle Crash to take the crystals, but crashed and eventually defeated him, losing him in space. Crash Bandicoot 3, he had an upgraded version of his mech and battled Coco, only for Coco to blow up all the weaponry, leading to Engine having to combine with his additional parts to transform it into a full-on space station mode to battle against Coco, whose ship combined with Pearl the Tiger's ship into a super ship or some kind of thing. And Coco defeated Engine. In Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex, Engine returned discussing with the other Crash 3 villains and how to kill Crash. In Crash Bandicoot Twin Sanity, he worked with Cortex and Mecha Bandicoot to stop Crash. And eventually was defeated. After being defeated, joined Entropy and Embryo in their betrayal of Cortex to get the treasure and battled against Crash. And when Engine battled Crash defeated him, causing Engine to fall into the ocean. Embryo, and he also returned in Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind Over Mutant. Reboot, blah 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 blah, all the appearances. And then for Embryo, another brilliant scientist who worked with Cortex in Crash 1, and eventually when Crash made it to his Cortex's castle, Embryo battled Crash, only to be defeated. He did. In Crash Bandicoot 2, he works with Crash to stop Cortex, even blowing up the Cortex vortex, using the power of the gems. In Crash Bandicoot Twin Sandy, he returns with a treachery by working with Entropy and Engine to get the treasure. And turns into a monster once again, helping Entropy in his battle against Crash, only for them to be defeated. And Ash, mind over mutant embryo, rejoins Cortex's army and controls Crunch in the Crunch boss fight. Battle and controlling Crunch, forcing him to fight Crash. Ash, only with the help of Aku Aku possessing Crunch, restoring Crunch to his normal self. Whenever Aku Aku got him, they're eventually able to defeat Embryo, and Embryo leaves. In the reboot, I don't even need to discuss rebooting time. Don't even need to discuss it at the moment. And now, Dr. Cortex and the evil twins. The evil twins were once Victor and Maurice, who were Cortex's old pets when he was a child. During Crash 1, Cortex made a Super Bandicoot who defeated all of his minions, eventually make it to him, defeating him and saving his girlfriend, Hana. In Crash 2, he decides to trick Crash thinking he's turned good to save the world. Now he's just trying to collect gems, but eventually, after Crash defeats all of Embryo's minions, trying to stop him from collecting crystals and defeating Engine, Cortex battles goes into space with the last crystal, only for Crash to defeat him. Once again. With the help of Embryo's ginormous laser, they blow up the vortex, causing Vortex to crash land on a very imprisonment that Uka Uka was at. Uka Uka being Aku Aku's evil brother. Uka summoned Entropy to help Cortex as they went through time, causing things trouble. Of Cortex going to Rome in the Coliseum to watch Tiny's fight with Crash, only for our watchers as Crash is able to take a dot, avoid Tiny's lions, and defeat Tiny. Eventually making it to his fight with Cortex had fought Crash once again with now the help of Uka Uka, who was fighting Aku Aku. But in the end, they end up being trapped in time with Cortex alongside the Entropy now being turned into babies fighting over Uka Uka. And Crash Bandicoot Raffle Cortex uses the power of the elementals to fully mutate and take over the mind of new Bandicoot Crunch. After Crunch is able to defeat Crash of none of the powers of the elementals, if none of the elementals' powers allowing Crunch to defeat Crash, Cortex alongside Crunch fight Crash together, only for Crunch to be able to be breaking free. And with Cortex being sent to the Arctic, and Crash twin Sandy. After 3 years after the events of Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex returns and attacks Crash with Mecha Bandicoot, only for it to backfire on him and that he falls down a tunnel with Crash. Eventually, they end up having to work together to stop the evil twins who have returned with a new plan to take over the world. After defeating multiple golems and even fighting against the returning Dingo Dial, and getting past the treachery of Entropy, Engine, and Embryo, and teaming up with his niece Nina, they eventually are able to stop the evil twins with the evil twins being eaten by evil Crash. Yes, it's a thing. And yes, they were literally devoured. And Crash the Titans, Cortex returns and captures Coco and puts its Crunch in a block of ice. Well, triangles of ice. After the events of the game, he wins overall. All up until he gets betrayed by Nina of crashing, defeating Nina and crashing the ship. And Crash, mind over mutant. And Cortex, with the help of the returning embryo, who is returned to his forces, creates special goggles are very popular to mind control people. Also mind control people, and get delivered to Crash, and 4 of them get delivered to Crash's home. One for Crash, one for Aku Aku, one for Coco, and one for Crunch. But they just don't work for Aku Aku, and they straight up electrocute Crash when he tried to put them on. Well, it worked on perfectly for Coco and Crunch, but when Engine activated it, they turned evil. Evil, eventually making a Crash which make it to Cortex. Cortex drank a potion to transform himself into a ginormous being of power. Who were battling Crash, only for Crash to defeat him once and for all. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace!